Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another reading. Please always remember that with any reading, take what resonates with you, but leave the rest behind. All right, what message do you have for us today, Spirit? Woo! Do you want this? What I'm seeing here is this portal again that I have, specifically with this card from this deck, that I saw a couple weeks ago, I believe it was, that the passions that are within us, our abilities to have command over those passions and able, in order to enact them within the world, these passions, these strong feelings, through the sword of truth here, cutting to the chase and not allowing things to be obscured, gets us closer and closer to this portal to the better world that we are all seeking at this point, for ourselves and for everyone here. It is being unable to sort of keep the masks on anymore. We take this crown of being able to use our passions, and through the sword, through communication, through truth, our truth, which is collective truth. You know, there's all these bees here moving about it. It is being able to take the passion that we have for the better world, for getting us to this portal, cutting away everything that doesn't truly serve us, everything that is manufactured, that hides things, that obscures things, and allowing us to see the path correctly in order to move forward to where we need to go. And I'm seeing with this card, the Five of Jars here, or the Five of Cups, the need to grieve the world that has been lost to us. What has been lost to us, you know, these jars sit empty here. However, knowing that there is still more to fuel us to move forward. Fuel us to move forward to this place of comfort, of being taken care of living on this abundant land. We're coming home to ourselves, not only ourselves, we're coming home to the world as it should be. The world... the world sort of stripped away of the things that have been told to us are what is important, of amassing wealth, of having status in society, but this is only available to certain people, as we know. This is taking our dream that we have in this current world, our current hive, taking our home and planting it within the world we are seeking to go to. And look how incredibly abundant this world is. There's so many flowers. There's so much food for us to have access to. There's so much beauty for us to live within. So much variety. What else would you like to know, us to know about this, Spirit? Was I wrong in picking this deck? Queen. Queen Bee here. She is the life bringer. She is the one who guides the hive to where it needs to be. And I'm seeing all these little spots here, honestly, as bees as well. She is abundance in herself. And as we have the queen here as well, you know, and we also have this sword and crown imagery here in the truth, the sword of truth here. I'm very much getting the imagery as well, especially with this, you know, upside down triangle. The feminine leading us forward. It's time for patriarchy to take a back seat and, you know, let other people who are not going to be so detrimental to society as a whole continue forward. And yes, there are... I mean, everybody is susceptible to trying to grab power, trying to wield it in a way that has control over. But the queen here, the queen bee here, she lives her entire life to continue to perpetuate the entirety of her society, the entirety of her hive. She doesn't stop laying those eggs. She keeps on going. And in continuing to create this, and this is not saying that, you know, people with wombs need to go out there and make a bunch of babies. That is absolutely not what I'm saying at all. If you feel called to have children, have children. That is one way to perpetuate culture and history and connection with the people that you come from, you know, your own families, but as well as your culture that you come from the places that you come from. But I'm seeing this as we must all become sovereign within ourselves, within our truth. And those truths are going to be slightly different from person to person, of course, because we are still individuals. We do still experience things differently than others, even if we've had some of the same experiences as others. Okay. What else? Oh, hello. The Hermit. We're having a lot of hive things happening here. And we have all these hives going on. And we're getting moon imagery again. I'm picking up some of the messages from the last message that came through the other day, that going within, and I'm seeing this sword also as going within and understanding within and getting to the very heart of the truth of ourselves, the truth of how we relate not only to ourselves but to others. And I'm seeing the connection of the white garb here in both of these pictures. Understanding ourselves, understanding our own magic here that I'm seeing in the moon. the magic that we also gain from taking in stories, taking in culture and myth, and the stories about magic, and understanding that magic within us, how it is different within us, how we can, what I'm thinking about right now is the way that all art, no matter who it comes from, and I mean actual people, not fucking AI, but all art in the world is not created in a vacuum. It is created basically from us taking in art, how it has made us feel, and as well as applying our own experiences, our own stories, and putting it into the world for others to experience. And there's these through lines through all of art, because there's these through lines through all of us. There are stories that resonate with practically everyone. And we get this by having all of this come in through community, but spending time reflecting on that and how that affects us, and understanding too that a story that is told to me in childhood is going to mean something of its own. And I will remember it as I go into adulthood and live my life and continue aging. But that story will mean more complex and different things and become very many layered. And this intricate thing here, the intricacy of all of these flowers, you know, living together well, so that we understand how to fuel this light to lead, not only lead us forward, you know, not only lead us to the moon, but to bring us back to society, bring us back to people, in order to help guide people to where they need to go. Again, story is one of the most important ways in which we communicate with each other. I say this all the time. I talk about this all the time. It doesn't matter if it's a story in a novel or if it's just a quick story that you tell somebody. It is the easiest way that we can connect with each other, even if we have very, very differing views on the world. It is the easiest way for us to connect to each other. So becoming good storytellers by understanding how stories affect us, and being able to go back into the world, go back around people and relay that to people, helps us also be the guide. So in order for us to be the guide for others, we must be the guide for ourselves, and understand ourselves first. So take in all that you need to take in things all of the time, and then think about that. I'm also seeing this as well. This is slower movement. She's walking towards it because it takes step after step after step to get to something better. Things never happen in a rush in the world. There's too many people for anything like that to happen super fast. In order for us to get to a place where we are no longer harming each other and no longer harming the earth, it's a step after a step after a step. So if we can help guide others with ourselves, step after step after step, to this path here, to get to that portal, to the, this new world that is there for us to have, then we have to slow down. We have to not allow society as it is right now to tell us that we have to do everything so bloody fast that we cannot even have time to think and ingest and process and alchemize things within ourselves to create this light that helps lead us and others forward. Just like stories, humans don't exist in vacuums either. We are a product of our environments. We are a product of the people that we are around. And if you can alchemize all the knowledge that you get, all of the stories that you hear into yourself to create fuel for this light. And if everybody does that, then we all can walk ourselves through here and get to that new world. We have the King of Wands here to go with our Queen of Wands. I'm seeing this as, you know, we've talked about sort of not doing things in a very patriarchal way, as it has, I mean, it has gotten us to where we are right now. I'm seeing this as the balancing of the masculine in order to make room for softness. I mean, he's wearing this beautiful flower on him. He's surrounded by these little flowers here. He's surrounded by soft light. You know, his expression is soft. He may be wearing, you know, the armor, but I'm seeing that as this armor to defend the light. To defend the light that guides us to getting to this place. So if you are somebody who identifies as masculine, you know, especially if you have been raised as a boy and are, you know, into a man and you're cis, you know, embracing this softness and being the protector of people's stories, being the protector of people who aren't cis men and all, you know, and white, just because it's coming to me, being the protector of people to have their peace, to be able to have the same privileges as you. This is the duty going forward, is to be able to do what needs to be done in order for us all to get here. Be the protectors. You know, it makes me think of, what was it called? There was a group, and I can't remember where it was, but it was, I think the group was called something like Dad Bods, and they were these, you know, men, these fathers, white men who would put themselves on the front lines of protests, especially when the cops were known to be coming in. This is the opposite of cop energy, okay? This is protector. This isn't antagonizer. This isn't somebody that comes after people for looking different, for being other than, you know, cis white male. This is somebody who understands that right now, one of the strongest roles that a person like this needs to step into is having a heart so fucking big that you will don the armor and you will take what you need to take in order to get us to keep going along this path. We have the moon again. And the Three of Wands. You know what's interesting? This card came out the other day and I saw it and I saw that they were wands. But I looked at this card as the Three of Cups and joyful celebration. Strangely enough, I was also having a hard time speaking and sort of gathering my thoughts in that message. Okay, we'll start over here and move here. I'm seeing this as, here's what people like this need to be protecting, and it is the light of the moon. It is the mysteries that have been, that we have tried to, or those in power who have tried to keep us from getting to. And I'm seeing also there are 2 pillars here as well. She's going to guide us, this soft light. This isn't the, you know, as much as I love the sun and I love summer and I love the light, the sun can be very harsh. You know, it is a harsh light, but the light of the moon is softness. And so he has to protect us in order to rediscover, you know, through softness or by softness, from the softness, again, that is his big heart, and being unashamed to show that heart, being unashamed to cry, being unashamed to feel things other than anger or happiness, you know. He's here to protect this. This is very much giving me sort of like fairy tale sort of ideals about, or not ideals, but just imagery. It's a whole vibe. It's, the magic is in the fairy tale magic that we are walking towards, okay, is in softness. It is in allowing this soft light to illuminate the things within us in a gentle light that allows us to alchemize things gently, but also galvanizes us, also makes us strong, you know, with this armor here, to continue moving forward, to getting to this new place. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it is not easy. And we all know this. We don't like change. We don't like the idea of just tearing down all the things that were made terribly in order to build something together that has a strong foundation, is made in harmony with the local area that it is within. You know, we want to just, oh, well, we can go back to the way it was before, but the way it was before was not good. And we're being asked by this light, this gentle light of the moon, and by the hermit here, to look within and to realize and recognize that the world was not a great place to be for too many people. It should be a loving and caring and gentle place. And that is what we are moving towards. But to get there, it is going to cost, I suppose. It is a requirement that we leave some of these things behind that have not served us. And here where we get to the Three of Wands, where we are in a new place. We are at a new beginning. The grass is greener once we make that journey. Once we allow ourselves to step on that boat, to go across the seas, and not be horrible colonizers like we have been in the past, you know, but finding a place where all of the dreams that we have, and I'm seeing this very much as star energy in her crown here, these dreams of this world being a better place, not only for humans, but everyone on this planet. You know, the trees, the ocean, all plants, all flora and fauna, everyone. And we can get there. It is a possibility. It does require time to process the fact that we need to leave things behind. It's not going to be easy. It requires grieving. but that in order to come to victory, come to this place where everyone is victorious together, we need to understand ourselves better, as individuals, but as each other. If I can be gentle on somebody else for making that kind of mistake, why am I not being gentle on myself for making that kind of mistake? Or the opposite, if I wouldn't accept that behavior in somebody else outside of myself, why am I doing those same things to my friends and family? Why am I doing those same types of things to my neighbors? Okay. This is fast movement. I'm thinking what is going on here, because there's so many people here who are doing the work that's needed in whatever capacity that they need to do it, or that for themselves they need to do it, whatever part of their path they are on at this point, because there are so many of us, you know, driven by this passion. And this is making me thinking of, you know, the people who just marched or tried to march to the Rafah border in Palestine. Because there's so many people doing this, the faster we get at getting through this portal, it's what's that called? The more weight behind something, the faster it can move through. I can't remember what, there's a term there. I cannot remember right at this moment, but the more of us that there are, the bigger the impact things have, the quicker things will move. You know, I'm thinking about the civil rights movement, and how Black folk in the States had been, you know, under such terrible laws for such a long time, and it wasn't until they started freaking moving together en masse in order to get that codified in law, that, you know, Black folk are equal. You know, they are humans too. They deserve dignity, you know, and I understand we are not anywhere near it's not perfect by a long shot at this point, which is really unfortunate, but we have to keep moving together, moving us all together, you know, in the ways that we have woken up to the things in ourselves that we need for ourselves. We can recognize that other people need things too, and if we all move together, we can move us forward through this portal into this new world that is, I mean, it's everything we would want now to be, you know. So one more card to finish this out. The Wise One. I'm getting, you know, the Hermit again with this. The eye being open. The eye being open, and the eye being able to, with this openness, shine light forward. Shine light for these plants to grow, for this newness to grow. Shine light for us to reach up to. And I'm also seeing this as like this light that comes from not only self-knowledge, but knowledge of the people around us, the seeing of how we are so the same, are also these wands. So many wands coming here, reaching up. We are reaching up, and then everyone is sending their tools down through their wands, you know, these tools here, their passions, their deep desires for justice and a beautiful world that we can live together with, live within together. Yep. This was a very beautiful message. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next one.